battle up front is an intense one. Bobby Labonte has grabbed the lead from Rusty Wallace.
Jeff Gordon to the lead at Indianapolis. The fans are going crazy. Here comes Bill Elliott looking for the lead at Indianapolis.
Bill Elliott just broke Rusty Wallace's heart right there.
And 300,000 fans are on their feet at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The California kid, Kevin Harvick, wins the 10th Brickyard 400. Jeff Gordon wins the Brickyard 400 for a fourth time. A dominating performance today by Gordon. Tony Stewart, a native Hoosier, his dream comes true.
I gotta thank the good Lord, man. I don't know that I've ever prayed that hard in my life.
Hello one and all, I'm Matthew Owens, and welcome to episode 2 of 30 Years of Thrills and History, the history of the Brickyard 400. Today's episode takes a look at the Brickyard 400's run from 2000 to 2005. The first Brickyard 400 of the new millennium hadn't even taken the green flag before one of the best feel-good stories of the 2000 NASCAR season happened on the day of first-round qualifying, when the winningest active driver and soon-to-be retiring Darrell Waltrip made everyone stand and cheer.
Somewhere around second, fourth. Can he jump it up a little bit? Oh, he did it! Oh, look at this! 49.745 average speed, 180.923. BWB dancing the jig when he gets that one.
The Icky Shuffle will be back. He has gotten the trick done here today.
He's the man.
Listen to the crowd and Waltrip with his hand in the air. This is about as big a response during a qualifying session I can ever remember here at Indy. Just an excellent run for ODW. Jerry?
And they continue to come over to congratulate Darrell Waltrip, trying to get unbuckled. The smile, he's smiling so wide. And listen to this, folks. Wow. And they are still screaming and cheering. We're going to back over here and try to back cross. We'll bring BW taking a bow here, his final time at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So much emotion. Darrell, for years they screamed and cheered, and now they're cheering again.
Oh, man. Well, I love it. You know, I like Indy. I come here with more confidence and more enthusiasm than probably anywhere we go. And I want to perform. This is a big race. Good drivers perform in big races.
Waltrip would end up being topped only by Ricky Rudd, allowing Waltrip to start the race on Saturday on the outside of the front row. Rudd, the 1997 winner, now piloted the Robert Yates Racing number 28 that had been so strong at Indy with Ernie Irvan and Kenny Irwin in years past. He led the field to the start of the 7th Brickyard 400 and led early. The first caution flew just 17 laps into the race, and it eliminated 2 contenders. Mark Martin got turned hard into the turn 1 wall with contact from Mike Skinner, destroying Mark's car. And getting collected while trying to avoid the crash was Jeff Gordon, who got damage from contact with Rick Mast. Martin had finished inside the top 6 in 5 straight Brickyard 400s, while Gordon had finished in the top 6 in 5 of the first 6 Indy races, including winning twice. Martin finished last, while Gordon ran off the pace for the rest of the day and finished 33rd. Rusty Wallace led the race off the restart and proceeded to lead 53 of the next 64 laps, with Jerry Nadeau and Bobby Labonte keeping within arm's distance. The second and last caution of the race came out on lap 44, when Indy 500 veteran John Andretti had a hard meeting with the turn 3 wall caused by a flat tire. Wallace and Labonte stayed at the front throughout the day and fought hard for the lead as the laps wore down.
The battle up front is an intense one. Bobby Labonte has grabbed the lead from Rusty Wallace, but Wallace just won't give up.
Once Labonte had made the pass for the lead, His Joe Gibbs-owned Pontiac set sail, pulling away from Wallace in the car that had led 110 of the race's 160 laps. Labonte, who had finished second or third in each of the last 3 Brickyard 400s, was a bridesmaid no longer at Indianapolis.
He is in his 244th career start in NASCAR Winston Cup competition, but he is about to register perhaps his biggest victory of all. Bobby Labonte from Corpus Christi, Texas, wins the 7th Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis.
He came into the race as the championship leader, and now Bobby Labonte had scored the biggest win of his career. Wallace came home second, his second runner-up finish at Indy, having also done so in 1995. Bill Elliott was third, Jerry Nadeau came home fourth, and Tony Stewart was fifth. Scott Pruitt picked up his first career NASCAR top 10 finish in the race, while Darrell Waltrip came home a solid 11th. It was also the last Brickyard 400 before a new TV broadcasting rights deal went into place for 2001, marking the last time the race was on ABC, with Bob Jenkins paired with Benny Parsons. The 2001 race would air on NBC. The 2001 Brickyard 400 was different. Different because of the new TV deal. NBC wanted to air the race on a Sunday, and they got their wish. So for the first time, there would be a race other than the Indianapolis 500 at the Speedway, run on a Sunday. And of course, it was different without Dale Earnhardt in the race for the first time. Jimmy Spencer was the fastest qualifier, putting his Travis Carter-owned Ford on the front row along with Bill Elliott, now in a Ray Evernham-owned Dodge team. Spencer led off the start, which was quickly interrupted by a multi-car crash on lap 2 in turn 2, involving Andy Houston, Robert Presley, Mark Martin, and Matt Kenseth. 11 different drivers took turns at the front in the first half of the race, including Elliott, Sterling Marlin, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, and a trio of rookies, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Ryan Newman. Steve Park spent the most time at the front, leading 39 laps. While a number of different drivers contested front-running positions, one driver that wasn't up front in the first half of the race was Jeff Gordon. The two-time Brickyard 400 winner could only qualify 27th fastest, and he spent most of the early laps complaining about an ill-handling car. But crew chief Robbie Loomis kept massaging on the car and working on different strategies. A caution with 28 laps to go brought most of the lead lap cars to pit road, but Sterling Marlin stayed out to take the lead and get clean air, while Gordon's team changed just 2 tires, lining the 24 right behind the leader Marlin for the restart.
Oh, Jeff is trying to get that run. Sterling does not want him down there, but it didn't work.
Jeff Gordon to the lead at Indianapolis. The fans are going crazy. Hometown hero takes the point.
Jeff knows the best chance he's got is to put as much distance between him and those guys. Got 4 fresh tires right now, so he's going to get it.
For a guy who went nowhere in the early part of this race, wouldn't you believe, in the final laps, Gordon finds himself racing for the win. No surprise.
Gordon methodically built a lead on Marlin, then survived another late race restart after a Jerry Nadeau crash. As earlier leaders struggled to maneuver through the field with their 4 fresh tires, Gordon's clean air advantage was too much for anyone to counter. And the driver to win the first Brickyard 400, the driver that was the first to win 2 Brickyard 400s, raised the bar once again by becoming the first 3-time winner of the race.
No one has been better than Jeff Gordon at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway since the NASCAR Winston Cup Series started running here in 1994. And now Jeff Gordon is 1 corner away from a Brickyard 400 win. The last 3 straight years, the winner of this race has gone on to be the NASCAR Winston Cup Series champion. Jeff Gordon, the point leader, comes off the corner and becomes a 3-time winner of the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis.
It was a remarkable win from 27th on the starting grid. and an incredible achievement to win 3 times at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, at the time becoming just the 7th driver to ever do so. 2001 was the first Brickyard 400 for Dodge after returning to the NASCAR scene for the first time in 3 decades. And they saw their cars get to the front with Bill Elliott and Casey Atwood starting at the front and Sterling Marlin finishing second. Dodge's best chance for Brickyard glory in 2002 was with 46-year-old Bill Elliott. Elliott was coming off back-to-back poles at New Hampshire and Pocono and a win at Pocono, with its long straights and tight turns just like Indy. Elliott rolled into Indianapolis with a fast red Dodge and put his number 9 on the front row, beaten only on qualifying day by local fan favorite Tony Stewart, who set a new track record in the process. Stewart took off from pole and led 33 of the first 37 laps, but on lap 37, a hard crash in turn 3 brought out the yellow, when Jimmy Spencer carried out a called shot by turning Kurt Busch into the wall. Bill Elliott led for the first time off the restart and spent long stretches on the lead. With 32 laps to go, a debris caution brought the leaders to pit road for the money stops. Dale Jarrett had forged forward to second and was ready to snatch the lead with a quick 2-tire stop. But his shot at a third Brickyard win was thwarted by a catch can being left in the car as Jarrett pulled out of his pit box, resulting in a back-breaking penalty. With differing strategies shuffling the leaderboard, Tony Stewart took the green flag as the leader again, but was hounded by Rusty Wallace, who didn't wait long to overtake Stewart for the top spot with just north of 20 laps to go. But behind Rusty was the big red Dodge of Bill Elliott, who took 4 tires under the caution pit stops and was quickly closing. In the final stages, Elliott applied the pressure to the back door of Wallace as 2 wily veterans dueled corner after corner for a Brickyard win. Wallace knew well of the heartbreak Indianapolis can cause after close losses in 1995 and 2000, and the former series champion was trying desperately to hold Elliott off. 12 laps from the finish, however, Elliott's 4 fresh tires finally broke down Wallace's defense.
Here comes Bill Elliott looking for the lead at Indianapolis down the backstretch.
But Rusty's going to drive it in there. Is he going to back off? No, he has to. He has no choice. Elliott in front.
Listen to the fans as Bill Elliott retakes the lead.
And I tell you what, Bill Elliott just broke Rusty Wallace's heart right there.
Even a debris caution with 8 laps to go and a single-file restart couldn't rattle Elliott, as the 2-time Daytona 500 winner and former series champion drove to one of the most meaningful wins of his career.
Dale Earnhardt, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Gordon, and now Bill Elliott joins the list of winners of the Brickyard 400 at Indy.
Elliott's car owner, Ray Evernham, won 2 Brickyard 400s as the crew chief of Jeff Gordon. But it was this victory that meant the most for Ray, and the emotion of Indianapolis took over.
Ray Evernham hugging just about everybody down here. A huge bear hug from Mike Ford. An old open wheel modified guy. You won here twice as a crew chief, Ray. Can you describe what it means to win here as a car owner?
I really can't. I just can't. I owe an awful lot to these guys and to the people at Dodge. It just means a lot, man.
This place is very special, isn't it?
It really is.
Ray Evernham fighting hard to find the words to describe what it means to win this special race.
I have never seen Ray Evernham speechless in my life, but he was.
It says it all about what it means to win here.
On a red-hot day in Indianapolis with temperatures in the lower 90s, it was a big red number 9 that rose above the rest as Bill Elliott drove a Dodge into Indy's victory lane for the first time ever. The 2003 Brickyard 400 was a celebration of a decade at the Brickyard for NASCAR. The old track record set in qualifying the year prior by Tony Stewart fell quickly and often on qualifying day. Dodge was once again strong, with Bill Elliott and Ward Burton locking out the second row, and Indiana native Ryan Newman qualifying on the front row. But it was the Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet, driven by Kevin Harvick, that went faster than anyone as he shattered Stewart's 2002 pole time by 1.4 miles an hour. In his third Brickyard 400 attempt, Harvick's silver and black Chevrolet led the first 17 laps before the defending winner and pre-race favorite Bill Elliott motored past for the lead. Elliott's lead was short-lived, however, because a fast-starting Tony Stewart jumped to the front. Stewart was impressive early. His orange number 20 hammered away from the green flag and moved from 15th to 1st in just 26 laps. During the first cycle of green flag pit stops, disaster struck on pit road. Two-time Brickyard 400 winner Dale Jarrett, who lost a chance to win the 2002 race on pit road, spun entering his pit box and collided with jackman John Bryan, who was sore but okay. The green flag waved over the field for a lap 45 restart, with South Bend, Indiana's Ryan Newman pacing the field. But the field was quickly put back under yellow when John Andretti crashed. Tony Stewart quickly snagged the lead back from Newman on the first lap off the restart and led 51 of the next 56 laps. Lurking in the background from Stewart and Newman were strong contenders Rusty Wallace, Jimmy Johnson, and Jamie McMurray. Green flag pit stop started with around 30 laps to go, and Tony Stewart, who had had the dominant car of the day, was starting to complain about the handling going away from his Chevrolet. Jamie McMurray overtook Stewart in the cycle of stops, but before everyone could complete their final stops of the day, Derek Cope dropped debris on the track, bringing out a crucial and race-changing caution. As drivers that hadn't yet stopped, like Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson, came to pit road, everyone was stunned when Stewart brought his car back to the pit lane, still not happy with the handling of his car. Jamie McMurray and Kevin Harvick stayed out, having already made their final pit stop under green, but because of the timing of the yellow, the leaders were boxed in traffic with cars on the tail end of the lead lap lined up in front of them and cars off the lead lap to their inside. All of this created chaos on the restart.
Keep an eye on the leader, McMurray. Harvick going to try and follow the lap cars.
Oh, there he goes.
Inside.
He goes on the inside of McMurray. He takes the lead.
Kevin Harvick to the front at Indy. McMurray still bottled up in traffic.
Here comes Robbie Gordon. He's 3 wide down the back stretch.
Contact.
Still contact.
Blocking. Here comes Matt Kenseth. You can't do it 4 wide at Indy.
Robbie Gordon drives that car in on the outside.
Oh, McMurray got sideways. Took the air off McMurray's car. He got sideways.
Oh, Terry Labonte is around. 4 cars in it. Ricky Rudd, Mike Skinner, Jimmy Johnson, and Sterling Marlin. Caution flag is out.
The caution was perfectly timed for Kevin Harvick, who grabbed the lead in the scramble from McMurray, but was able to restart clear of the traffic in front on the restart with 10 laps to go and set sail. With cars on fresh tires spending time getting through traffic, Harvick walked away to his 4th career win and the biggest of his young career.
The final corner. And 300,000 fans are on their feet at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The checkered flag is in sight, and the California kid, Kevin Harvick, wins the 10th Brickyard 400.
2.5 years after being thrust into the spotlight after Dale Earnhardt's tragic death, and many years after seeking an autograph from his Bakersfield, California racing hero Rick Mears, Kevin Harvick reached the hallowed grounds of Indianapolis Victory Lane. He became the first driver to win the Brickyard 400 from the pole and finally started creating a racing legacy for himself. "2004 was a landmark year for NASCAR. Winston was gone as the title sponsor of the series, replaced by Nextel. And a part of the new feel and flair of the season, a new championship format was formed with the new Chase for the Cup. As usual, though, no one came to Indianapolis with points on the mind. Everyone instead was focused solely on winning the Brickyard 400. Qualifying on Saturday once again saw the old track record fall multiple times, and the fastest lap was turned by a Dodge, and it was piloted by a young driver with a name familiar to Indianapolis success.
All right, here we go. Green, green, green. TNT Pace Chase says right now Casey Mears is the man.
So if Mears sets a new track record, you think there'll be a little noise from the crowd?
I don't think he lifted in turn 4. If he did, he didn't lift much.
Let's listen.
And it's a new track record. What do you know? 186.293 miles an hour. Wow.
Exactly.
A surprising front row featured 26-year-old Casey Mears and former Daytona 500 winner Ward Burton, driving for Gene Haas. When the green flag fell on the 11th Brickyard 400, both of the surprise front row drivers were dead set on leading the first lap.
Oh, contact going into the first corner. Ward Burton and Casey Mears bouncing off each other.
Oh, look out, guys.
And you got to be careful. You do not want to do that in this place. The aerodynamics is so important here. You don't want to ruin those fenders. Not now.
They've already have.
Yeah.
When you think the Brickyard 400 isn't a big deal, Ward Burton was not going to give up that front row spot. He wanted to lead that first lap.
Mears got to the end of the first lap with the lead, but he didn't stay there long, as Elliott Sadler motored his way to the front. 2 early cautions slowed the pace, including a lap 24 caution from a Tony Stewart spin. In the first 24 laps, the 24 car of Jeff Gordon had sliced his way through the field, moving quickly up from 11th to 2nd. And on the first lap off the restart, Gordon thundered through the canyon of grandstands on the main straightaway to the front of the field.
As a bid for the lead, taking a look. Jeff Gordon looking on Elliott Sadler.
He's got him.
And he does it at the right place, down the front straightaway, amongst all those people. Gets them all up on their feet cheering.
Jimmy Johnson became the second driver to survive a single car spin when he looped his car around to bring out a third caution on lap 31. 2 more debris cautions brought the yellow flag count up to 5 before the halfway point. On a lap 74 restart, a number of cars got wadded up coming to the green.
Oh, contact.
Almost contact. Who's that, Rusty? Oh, Rusty getting trouble.
Wallace is into the wall. And a big mess. Scott Riggs has crashed. More contact.
Right in front. Oh, man.
Terry Labonte in the 5, smoking and steaming.
Has no place to go with the 10 car.
Ward Burton.
Outside pole sitter Ward Burton.
Gordon continued to dominate through the second half of the race. Defending series champion Matt Kenseth had started to climb his way to the front and was trying to run down Gordon. But on a day where there were 4 different cautions for debris, a large piece of debris went unnoticed on the track and was clipped by both Gordon and Kenseth. Kenseth dove to pit road, worried about damage and a possible flat tire, falling all the way from 2nd to 29th. Gordon stayed on the track to keep track position and took the next green flag, with Yates teammates Dale Jarrett and Elliott Sadler lined up behind, followed by Mark Martin and rookie Casey Kane. Scott Wimmer crashed with 12 laps to go. Then Ryan Newman and Brian Vickers crashed hard after the next restart, setting a Brickyard record with a 13th caution period and making the 2004 Brickyard 400 the first NASCAR race to go into what is now known as overtime. Coming to the green-white checkered restart, 3-time winner Gordon led 2-time winner Jarrett, with history waiting to be made.
Did Jarrett get that start? Looks like Jeff Gordon, once again, got a terrific restart. White flag this time. Just one more lap for Dale Jarrett to catch it.
24 just pulls out.
Dominant car all day, now 1 lap away from a Brickyard 400 win. Jeff Gordon takes the white flag. Elliott Sadler trying his teammate for 2nd. That's all it's going to be, is for 2nd spot. Caution flag is out, the race is over. Jeff Gordon wins the Brickyard 400 for a 4th time. A dominating performance today by Gordon.
Gordon led more than 3/4 of the race, 124 of the 161 laps, en route to a milestone 4th win in the Brickyard 400, just days after turning 33 years old. Gordon had once again ascended Mount Indy, this time reaching a level only before reached by the likes of Foyt, Unser, and Mears to have 4 Indianapolis victories, and he had done it all in just 11 years. To celebrate with his adoring Indiana fans, Gordon stopped on the Yard of Bricks to celebrate.
Jeff Gordon has climbed out of the car, still parked on the Yard of Bricks. It took 66 years to get the first 4-time winner of the Indy 500. You won this one 4 times in 11 years. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. What an amazing week it's been, and just an awesome year for Hinder Motorsports, this entire team. That Yard of Bricks right there is so special, and it just feels so incredible. And this guy right here, and
car owner Rick Hendrick is here. You know this means a lot to these two guys.
Once again, Jeff Gordon put his greatness on full display with a legendary 4th win at the Brickyard. And another native Hoosier was dreaming of basking in Indianapolis glory the next year. With Jeff Gordon's record-setting 4th win still reverberating off the Brickyard walls, the 2005 Brickyard 400 was ready to stage another memorable moment. Elliott Sadler backed up his 2004 Indianapolis speed by claiming the pole, just ahead of Jeremy Mayfield's Dodge. Rusty Wallace spent 2005 on his farewell tour, and was ready for one final attempt to win the Brickyard 400 that he had been so close to 3 times prior. But Wallace crashed in qualifying and rolled off from 41st on the starting grid. Elliott Sadler dominated the first 100 miles of the race before Brian Vickers, Matt Kenseth, and Casey Mears all spent time in the lead. Casey Kane grabbed the lead for the first time on lap 70. His number 9 Dodge that Bill Elliott won in 2002 was up front all weekend long and looked to be a real contender for the win. But so was Tony Stewart, who drove up from his 22nd starting spot to the lead on lap 100.
In turn 4, Tony Stewart figures has to let it go. Tony Stewart comes out of 4 and will come to the line. He will lead lap 100 at Indianapolis.
And man, the grandstands look like an Earnhardt took the lead at Charlotte.
You can hear him, and he probably can too. You can certainly see him.
Over the final 150 miles, it was a 2-horse race between Stewart and Kane. Kane was once again in front with less than 20 laps to go when championship leader Jimmy Johnson pounded the wall in turn 4 and brought out a yellow. With 11 laps to go, the green flag flew for the final time, with Stewart's eyes set on Kane.
But Tony, boy, he laid back and got that run between 1 and 2.
Kane trying to hold him off, can't do it. Side by side in front of his sweep. They sweep into 2 and onto the backstretch. Tony Stewart takes the lead at Indy.
Stewart's majestic restart overtake put the Rushville, Indiana native in front in the final laps of the race he wanted to win more than any other. Stewart started 5 times in the Indianapolis 500, including on pole in 1996. He led a race-high 64 laps in 1997. He won the pole for the Brickyard 400 in 2002, dominated in 2003, but could never be at the front at the end. As Kane's powerful Dodge continued to apply pressure, Stewart was not going to be denied of his fairy tale finish.
He sweeps out of turn 4 and sees the white flag at the same track where his hero A.J. Foyt won before him. Now Tony Stewart is 2.5 miles away from history.
This is going to be really, really big for him.
The fans cheering. Through turn 4, the last trip down the front stretch. Tony Stewart, a native Hoosier, his dream comes true. Tony Stewart wins the All-State 400 at the Brickyard. Let the party begin.
Crew Chief Greg Zipadelli and Tony himself illustrated the weight and meaning of winning at Indianapolis.
Well, the emotions run high here. Greg Zipadelli getting a hug from Eddie, one of Tony's longtime friends. I know this means a lot. What does this mean to win this race for your driver?
You have no idea. I gotta thank the good Lord, man. I don't know that I've ever prayed that hard in my life. Just so
just to see the expression on his face when I get over there, it'll be worth everything.
So much has gone into this and so much before this, Zippy.
Oh, you have no idea. The people home sitting here knew what the first 6 years of a roller coaster was at the Brickyard 400. You know, they'd understand how important this was to this team.
Most of us never get to see our boyhood dreams come true. You have. What do you think?
I'm dying right now. Too tired to chase fences right now, but give me 5 minutes, I'll be ready.
Driving around this racetrack, listening to the cheers of these fans, what does this win mean for you?
I wish I could put it in words. It's today's been my entire life. So,
with the crowd screaming their approval, Stewart and his Joe Gibbs Racing crew members climbed the fence on the main stretch, just like Helio Castroneves had after his 2001 and 2002 Indianapolis 500 wins. It was a special day, and a lifetime dream for Stewart had come true, who wanted to win the Brickyard 400 so much, he gave crew chief Zipadelli a $50,000 bonus just for preparing an Indianapolis winning car. On the next episode of 30 Years of Thrills and History, the history of the Brickyard 400, we'll explore the Brickyard 400s from 2006 to 2010, where another NASCAR legend would find Indy's victory lane multiple times, tire problems and pit road penalties altering races, and a surprise winner. Until then, thank you for joining us. I'm Matthew Owens.
Hey! You said before the race you didn't know where your resume would go from here, but how about this one, Awesome Bill?
I'll tell you what, these guys, when we came here and tested, we worked so hard on race stuff, and I'll tell you, every lap I drove that race car paid off. We run 125 laps the first day and 170 the second, so I done run my 2 races before I got here. But I'm so proud of these guys and what they've done and what they've accomplished. It makes my job awful easy.
Bill, where does it fit in, a win at Indianapolis?
This is the greatest, man. This is the greatest.
Congratulations.
Thank you.